I've concluded that there is such a thing as a psychic internet. And just to give you an example of that, one of the studies we ran was trying to make seeds grow faster. We worked with the University of Arizona. They prepared 4 sets of 30 seeds, took photos of them, sent them to us, and they were labeled A, B, C, and D. And I had an audience for the first time we ran this experiment in Sydney, Australia. So I asked my audience of 700 to choose one of the sets of seeds. They chose, let's say, D. Seeds D. We didn't tell the scientists which ones we were choosing. We sent intention to those seeds, then told the scientists to plant them. They planted all 4 sets of seeds, still not knowing which ones we sent intention to, and then measured them 5 days later. Only then did we unblind the study and tell them which ones we sent intention to. And what they discovered was the seeds that were sent intention grew significantly higher than controls. Now, we ran that study 5 more times. Every single time we sent intention, and that was from Rhinebeck, New York, and South Carolina, and Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, and over the internet with my international audience. Every single time, the seed sent intention grew significantly higher than controls. So let's just think about that first experiment. I'm there in Sydney, Australia. The seeds there, and we're sending intention there, and the seeds are in Tucson, Arizona, 8,000 miles away. And we're not sending intention to the thing, we're sending intention to a photograph of the thing. Nevertheless, we are having an effect. So that demonstrates how we can zone in on things via the field and have that effect. And what I've noticed even in my small groups is that you don't have to be in the same room together. They work just as well when we do them over Skype or Zoom. You can create that Power of 8 circle virtually. You can create a psychic internet wherever you are with a common thought.
That's remarkable. So is there a significance to the number 8? Or, like, it's the infinity sign, and there's all these spiritual connotations to it, but how did you come up with 8?
The Power of 8 came about by total accident. I decided in 2008, after we'd run a couple of these intention experiments, that it was time to try to scale this down to a workshop. But I wasn't really sure how to do this. So I'm sitting there with my husband one day, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll put them in groups of 8 or so and have them send healing intention to a member of the group with some sort of health challenge. So my husband, who's a great headline writer, also a journalist, said, yeah, I love it, the Power of 8. So that's exactly how it started. We had our first workshop in Chicago. We put people in groups of 8. We had them send healing intention to a member of the group with a health challenge. And I figured it was going to be a feel-good exercise, like getting a facial, nothing more. Next day, we have people come back, and we ask them to report on what had happened, the recipients, and this is what they told us. Things like, I was scheduled for a knee replacement. I can hardly walk, and I'm walking normally today. I have terrible depression, and it's been lifted. I have terrible IBS, and my gut feels normal today. I have cataracts, and I'm 80% better. And on and on and on it went like that. So I was dumbfounded. I figured this must be a placebo effect. But in every workshop I ran, no matter where I was in the world, and that includes all over the world, from the Middle East to South America, I put people in groups, and not only the receivers, but the senders also were getting healing. So I had no idea what was working here. Certainly, it didn't have to be just 8. 5 works as well, 12 works as well. It just needs to be a small group. I think if it's more than 12, it gets a little unwieldy, and if it's less than about 4 or 5, it's not really a group. 8's kind of a sweet spot. It's like a Goldilocks figure, not too big, not too little. But there's no other significance other than a group, and a group effect, and an amazing, amazing instant healing effect. But that's the thing that's most extraordinary to me. I run these over and over again, even in a conference setting where people aren't really even working with me, and we have instant healings. 10 minutes, that's all it is. For instance, we had a woman another person with terrible arthritis whose knees were so wobbly she could hardly stand. And at the end of the 10 minutes, she did a deep squat, and she was able to cancel her surgery.